Hey everyone, welcome to episode 3 of Angela and Joey Try Vlogging. I'm Joey.
I'm Angela.
And today we're going to bring you Zak Bagans Haunted Museum in Vegas. And let me tell you, it was awesome. Hands down, we loved it.
Absolutely.
God, where do we start? Let's start from the beginning. And that's a pretty good place to start. So arriving there, I mean, as soon as I walked onto the premises, heavy feeling.
Well, let's start off from the real beginning because the second that you told me about the surprise,
so
you knew.
As soon as I booked the trip, I knew I wanted to go to this place. I had seen some videos online. You can see them on there too, like people just reacting to going there. And there's definitely some stories. And there's evidence that actually Zak caught himself of like people actually having experiences. But I was watching YouTube videos of just people going there and like I said, you can't film or anything, but they gave their reactions to it. And there's some people that didn't have anything happen. There was a lot of other people, and quite a few that had a lot of things happen to them, including us. And we had quite a few things happen to us. So it was, I started showing Angela right after, because as soon as I booked the trip, I bought VIP tickets for both of us to go. Knew hands down we were going. With the VIP package, you get to see 5 extra rooms. You get a lanyard, which I got the signed one. It's a little bit extra, get the signed one, but why not? You're there.
Oh, I have them.
And then you get a t-shirt as well with each ticket. So I got this one. Let's see if you can see it. And then Angela got the same one, but it's just got white on the front. So
Well, no, mine's a little different.
Oh, okay. I guess it is a little different here.
I don't have the actual shirt.
I'll put a picture up right here of the other.
It's dirty.
But you're able to get the lanyard as well. So she's going to show the lanyard right now with the autograph.
This is the little pass. This is
So that's the signature at the bottom.
And this is the lanyard. It says the Haunted Museum. Pretty cool.
Then you also get 5 extra rooms, which, it was kind of cool. There was 2 other couples with us, a man and his daughter, and then another couple. The man and his daughter had the same ticket package as we did, so we experienced a lot of that stuff together. They also had a couple experiences too, just like separate from us. So I mean, there's definitely something going on there. I totally believe it. We didn't watch any of the quarantine episodes or anything before we went.
Didn't even really know they
had
existed.
them. I was just watching just people's reactions to it, and I was more interested just in the museum. And I think when I first started watching them, I don't think he had done the quarantine episodes yet, because it was when I first started watching them, it was like a couple months ago.
Our tour guide mentioned them and asked if we had watched them.
Yeah, she had asked them on that.
I think they were filming them before they reopened.
What I'm explaining is when I first started watching them was like a couple months ago.
So
this was before all that. But yeah, then I started watching them with showing Angela, here's the videos of people's reaction to it, guess where we're going. And
mind you, all the videos that he showed me was like security footage of the actual museum and these people like fainting and things of that nature.
The glass falling out.
The glass
and then you saw
falling out.
a couple people's reactions to it, just their personal
vlog. And then their personal vlogs of their reactions. And so let me just tell you, I was a little freaked out. I made sure that I did not forget my rosary. I had my St. Anthony, St. Francis pendant necklace.
She's literally wearing the rosary right now, just talking.
I am. And I also had a cross bracelet on. I was not playing around.
But yeah, so we get the tickets, and then when we first arrived, you just got this, I don't know, maybe it was just that day or whatever it might have been. You just got this feeling, like this.
It's like a heaviness that you just
feel
it when you're on the premises.
Just
even on the sidewalk, you could.
Or maybe it's just you can tell there's something different about the place.
Maybe.
Something. But you get basically escorted in, and the first room you go into is like kind of a doll room, I guess. It's got some dolls, it's got some trinkets, it's got a bunch of pictures of like Zak and the famous people that have came there.
The lobby?
Yeah, and then it's got the old TV, like there's an old TV up in the corner from maybe like the 50s or something like that, and it's playing
like clown stuff in there.
Playing like old Ghost Adventures episodes, and you're in there for about, I don't know, 10 minutes, which is fine. Like there's enough stuff in there to keep your attention. You can take pictures in there.
If you go during quarantine,
I'll
they
put
are
up-
temperature checking.
I'll try and put up. I lost my phone in Vegas. If you watched our last episode,
I think I
and
did get a picture of us.
pictures of that. There was on that. Maybe we'll
I
check.
think I
If there
have
is,
one.
I'll put a picture right here of us there. But after that, you have to turn your phones off. You can't have anything like that there. You have to put them away. Put them on airplane mode or shut them off.
It affects their equipment.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
affects spirits that are there.
And they just don't want to
Whole
deal
thing.
with it, and just
Yeah.
it's it adds to the mystery.
Right.
You don't want people seeing everything that's going on, or what's the point of going?
And keep in mind, we're not going to tell everything
No.
that was in that museum.
No.
Just
You
it's
got to go
worth
check it out. Like,
going
it's
and
worth going.
seeing it for yourself.
We're not going to give
100%.
everything away. We're just going to talk about like our experiences there, and then we'll take it from there. There's a lot of cool things in there. I'd say the first experience. Well, when you walk into the rooms too, because of COVID, with the regulations and all that, you do have basically you go to like 4 separate corners of the room, or sometimes there's 6. But you stand in your circle, and then while you're in there, they're talking and explaining a few things to you. Not everything. There's a lot of stuff there.
A lot to look at, a lot to read.
Yeah, a lot to read, a lot to just see. And then you rotate kind of through before you go to the other room, so everybody gets to see everything. The first experience that comes to mind was one of the doll rooms. Where
It's like the first actual room of the tour.
Yeah. It's got the murder doll in there.
I don't know exactly if that's the room. It all kind of gets blurry just because there's so much to see there.
There's a lot, and he moves it around all the time. When you go, it could be different from when we went. So there's a room with a closet
when you
with
go,
dolls.
bring a dollar.
Yes, absolutely.
Bring a dollar.
Bring a dollar, and you get to do something cool in one of the rooms.
That's
we
cool.
We won't give it away to you, but definitely bring a dollar.
Yeah, but the first room, like, we walked in and we had to walk to the back of the room, and I hadn't even really scanned the whole room yet, and I could just feel something behind me.
A different feeling than when you first get there. Like this one was definitely.
It's like I don't know. It's almost like an electrically charged room, but it's also like it's even heavier than just being on the premises.
Yeah.
But I felt something behind me, and I turned around, and I see this creepy ass closet with a bunch of freaking dolls in it. And of course, I'm terrified of dolls, so I was a little nervous from the jump. I can't remember exactly what was in that room. I think
There was
like
one of the original, like one of the actual dolls, and she was telling, forgive us, it was 2 weeks ago. Like I said, we had a lot of footage on our phone. It was one of the dolls, and it's in that closet. Well, as part of the VIP tickets, we got to go in the closet. So first, the father and daughter went, and the daughter didn't even go inside. She basically made it to the doorway and said no way.
And turned around.
The dad went in there for maybe like a minute, and then came out and said there was definitely Then we went in there, and Angela lasted maybe 5 seconds. Maybe
I
10?
don't even think
10
it was
maybe?
that long.
But there was definitely you knew if
You could
I
feel
don't know.
something like.
If I walked
watching
into my
it.
toy closet and that was whoa, all right, there was definitely something there, and the doll was just creepy. So that was our
added to
first
my fear of dolls.
VIP, extra that we got to do.
Yeah.
So, but it was worth it. That was definitely you knew something not right was in there. So that was the first experience we had, and it was just a feeling. So I mean, I can't really chalk that up to much.
It was just very eerie.
More just definitely, just the feeling of it was cool.
Nothing like crazy happened, but
There's a lot of great stuff in there. Just even if you're not into the paranormal, and you just historically, there's just a lot of really cool things in there.
he's got a lot of stuff from
just
dead celebrities.
Yeah.
Just pieces from history.
Yeah. There's a Titanic room.
He's got his Ghostbusters room, which is really
there's a
cool.
cool
There's just a
Ghostbusters
lot of
room,
really cool stuff.
Which
there,
he's done
in general.
interviews on like the Hollywood whatever.
There's like a video of a
Entertainment Tonight or
reporter
whatever.
he
he
got
did like a
scared.
thing there. There was like one of the reporters got scared, but he did it's worth going even if you're not totally into the paranormal. And if you're skeptical, it might change your mind. Legitimately, it might change your mind. So then, from there, we definitely got into one of the rooms that had the murder doll in it, which They don't show you until after, but there's a cool thing they do with the black light that's pretty crazy. But while we were standing there all in our circles, Angela and I were across the room from,
I got really hot
from the father and daughter. And, you know, you felt, like I said, every room in there to us, I don't know if it was the day or whatever it might have been, maybe it was just us, but I mean, every room in there had some sort of feeling to it, and they were different feelings. Like, you could feel sad in some rooms, you could feel mad in some rooms. There was just a lot of, yeah. They definitely, and they were different, separate things. Each room you walked into, you could tell it was like walking into a different place. But yeah, the dad and the daughter were standing there, and then all of a sudden the dad said, you know, well, is there an air conditioning over here?
Yeah.
And, you know, we were kind of all like, what? And he's like, is there an air conditioning over here?
Like a vent.
And when you look behind him, literally the case and then like the bookcase, they touched each other. Like there was no air
unless it was like under one
above
of
him.
those
There was
cases.
nothing. There was nothing around him that blew air. And then even the tour guide told us, no, like there's nothing over there. She went over there and checked, nothing there. When we got to that corner, we were like feeling for it, nothing there. He said something grabbed his foot.
And that his daughter felt like a cool breeze.
And his daughter said she felt something brush by her ankle. So, I mean, that was one experience that somebody else had that we couldn't explain.
Creepy though. You could tell that she was a little.
I wouldn't say they weren't like, they weren't making it up. They weren't trying to be loud about it. We were kind of all just talking to each other and like just, you know, and they had actually been there, I think, either multiple times or at least one other time because they were talking about things that had been moved.
Yeah.
So I mean, they had been there before, but yeah, he said he got grabbed. We couldn't find anything. They couldn't find anything. So that was
just
one.
Weird and
I guess there's a story there that there's a little girl that roams around the building, and she actually grabs people like below the waist on like the leg or on the foot, whatever it might be. And I actually had an experience like that too that'll come up in a minute. Then we went.
Ooh, what else? So those. The serial killer room.
Okay. Yeah. Even if you're not into like ghosts and all that, and you're just in, I'm a serial killer, like nut.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I just enjoy watching
watching
the documentaries. I want to know like what makes people think that way.
It's crazy.
If you're into that, he has some of the coolest items you can find that I have ever seen.
Cool and creepy.
As far as like legit their property. He's got John Wasey's clown suit.
Ted Bundy's murder kit.
Ted Bundy's murder kit and the glasses he wore to get his last victim. He's got Charles Manson's bones and the robe he died in with like, and these items have not been cleaned, mind you. So you
can see like his blood.
I guess
on there.
parental discretion advised. Like I wouldn't take your kids there or anything.
No.
Like, I would definitely keep it adult oriented or at least older kids.
I think that's part of the waiver that you have to sign anyway.
Yeah, there's definitely, you have to sign like this full waiver. Basically says they're not responsible for anything that happens to you, anything like that, which I can see why. Like, legitimately. I mean, you know, if it's...
At first I was like, okay, this is a little excessive, like...
But I see, I mean, and after watching stuff that happened to people and all that, I get it. They're protecting themselves. But this serial killer room was just for historical things as far as like crime and dark crime. I've never seen anything like it. And you definitely feel just it makes it more real.
It's like
it definitely makes it more real. Even like people like, oh, Ted Bundy and but when you see like that kind of stuff,
it's almost like everything goes
makes it
still
human.
in that room.
It brings them more human, and you can feel just the evil in there.
Yeah, it's like everything's just flat. There's no movement.
There's anger.
There's no...
Not that we got it, but you just kind of feel, like when somebody's tension. People say you can cut the tension with a knife. There's tension in that whole area.
The entire room.
But that being said, it was very educational. Things that I didn't even know, and that like just to see the actual stuff was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
That was definitely cool. Going through the Dr. Kevorkian.
Dr. Kevorkian, yeah.
So
that room, just in general, like his office area, I felt like I kept leaning into Joey because I felt like I was gonna faint. And I mean, luckily I didn't. But there was a few minutes there that I really thought that I was gonna buckle.
Personally, I didn't catch anything in that room. I mean, there was a feeling of like sadness, but like she definitely had more of a reaction to it than I did.
I was legitimately leaning on him for support, or else I would have fallen.
I definitely felt something in the van room, you get to go in and see the actual van, bus, whatever thing that he actually performed.
He didn't actually perform anything.
Well, yeah, they did it to themselves. He was just there supervising. But anyways, regardless, it was the van that happened.
Whatever. A lot of people died in that van.
Yeah, and you could definitely feel just an overall like sadness.
Yeah, it's not
bad.
It's not like
evil. It's not evil. It's just sad.
There's like a hint of anger, but it's more like sad. Like,
and almost
those
like
people had to make the decision to contact Dr. Kevorkian.
And from what I understand, like people have literally broke down crying in that room.
Yeah, I felt like I was like tearing up a little bit.
And it could be just, you thinking about it too, that people had to make that decision. Like, that's a heavy decision.
It is a heavy decision.
I mean, that could be maybe part of it, but there's definitely a sadness in that room. And I felt that when I came in, like when I went in there, I could definitely feel just
Yes.
And I didn't feel so much in the office. The office kind of just had like a stale feeling to me.
And maybe that's why I felt lightheaded, but it was very like stagnant. And I'm going to use that a lot because the hallways in this place, you don't really feel that.
Yeah.
But when you walk into the rooms with these objects, like it's different. It's almost
and
like
I'm
the
not
wind
saying
is
they
taken
don't,
out of the
they
room
may
sometimes.
do things to help that. I'm not going to put that past people. Like maybe they change the temperature, whatever it might be.
Well, it's
I don't want to say
strange
they
because
do
in
it,
certain
but,
rooms I got really hot, and then other rooms I got like a chill.
Yeah, some people were, it was cooler. So I mean, that could be done by air. So I don't want to like really chalk that up too much. That being said, we had experiences.
Yes.
And that one more actually a weird experience was the Devil's Rocking Chair. This one, it's basically a chair that Lorraine Warren and there was an exorcism in the past. I don't know the exact story. There's like there's an exorcism that they were part of, and apparently she and I think the priest saw the actual demon sitting in this chair.
Yes.
I believe it, and I think there's a movie about it, The Haunting.
It's like Haunting. And there's a horror movie based on it.
There's a horror movie based on the chair. Anyways, when he's they're explaining everything to you, and then he's supposed to hit a button, and the door swings open, and then as the door swings open, it starts playing the audio from the actual exorcism.
And when the door swings open, that's when
it's supposed to kick on, by a sensor, whatever it might be. So he opened it, and nothing happened. So then he said, "Oh, that's strange." Then he closed it. So we kind of looked at each other like, okay, they're playing it up, whatever it might be. So then he opened it again, and it didn't work. But then you could kind of tell from him, he was like, "What?" And he's like hitting the remote, and he's like, not saying it to
either
us.
He's a really good actor,
and I mean,
he legitimately had
maybe
no idea what was going on.
He could be, but I don't. It seemed like legitimately he was like trying to get it to play for us. Like he wanted us to hear that was part of it. It was supposed to happen the first time, So then he shut it again, and then opened it again, and it didn't turn on. So then he's like, "Well, maybe it just doesn't work." He had us look at it. And he's like, this is the chair. And he kind of explained what he did. He's like, "Sorry, guys, it's not going to work this time, blah, blah, blah." And then he goes to close it. And halfway when it's closing, the audio kicks on. So I don't know how that, even in a sensor, like it's going, you know what I mean? It could have, I guess, been it was just weird. Like, because then you had a feeling in that room for sure. There was definitely just a dark feeling in that room.
And there's a lot of light tricks and things like that, but let me just tell you, I swear I saw it was almost like an indentation of somebody, and I didn't
looked like somebody was sitting.
A mist or a spirit or anything like that.
Smoke,
but it was like you could tell that it was indented from somebody sitting in it,
and it could have been an old chair.
You know what I mean?
But it looked like somebody was sitting in it.
It was weird.
And this it did that, and you could tell he was surprised. He was like, "Oh, wait!" And then he opened it back up for us, and then we listened to the audio as well, which is creepy in itself.
Yes.
But that was like our first experience.
No, because that was a little bit later on in the tour, and we had.
Well, I guess the closet was definitely and the serial killer.
But it was just weird because of the way that it kind of worked out.
In the serial killer room. In the area, I was just walking with my hands down and just kind of passing by. She wasn't even like maybe 3 feet from me, whatever.
I was reading something.
Something definitely grabbed either the hair on my finger and pulled it out, or like pinched my finger really hard. And it wasn't any, I didn't get my hand caught on it. I wasn't near anything. It just like grabbed my finger and pinched it. It hurt, and I was like, I jumped, like, what the heck? And nobody was around. I thought it was her, like, trying to get my attention or something. And I was gonna be like, that was unnecessary.
Okay, he doesn't get easily spooked.
No.
And when he told me about that, I saw his eyes, and he was a little spooked.
It was the first time I had ever been like, I don't know, it didn't hurt, but it like hurt. Like, what the hell? Somebody pulls a hair out of your hand.
He was a little freaked out.
It's like, what the heck? And there was nobody around. There was nobody around me. She was, like I said, I could have swung my arms all the way around 360. There was nothing there that would have grabbed my finger like that and pulled what felt like the hair out of my finger. I don't count them, so I mean, I don't know if that happened, but that was my first, like, whoa, like, wait a minute, what's going on here? So that just gave me kind of a creepy feeling after that, especially after the dad got his foot grabbed. So, I mean, I'm assuming it might have been the little girl. Maybe she was following us around our tour or something, since, he got his foot grabbed, and then, because I guess, my arms do go below my waist when I drop them down. I was just standing, like, there walking.
Well, and keep in mind, we're saving the basement for last. But that was pretty early in the tour.
Yeah, this was early in the tour. This was, like, maybe 20 minutes in, 25 minutes in. Maybe, or fourth room. I mean, it wasn't that long. So, I mean, that was my first experience. And I even felt like, oh, geez, like, maybe, I was just telling myself, it somehow hooked on some, But I don't have an explanation for it. I really don't.
There was a room that I got so there's another.
Sorry, everyone. Marley needed some attention, so she's gonna have to be involved in the rest.
She's
of the
joining us for this part.
Say hi to everybody.
Say hi, buddy.
Hi. Okay, so another one was the Peggy doll.
Yes. So apparently this doll, like, if you look at it for too long, or if you're around it for too long, it can cause heart attacks. There's this whole story behind it. Obviously they go into detail when you're at the museum. So our tour guide had told us when we walk in the room, we had to make sure to say hello to Peggy, and before we left, we had to say goodbye to her in order to help stop her from, like, following us out of the room or something. So, I mean, I don't like dolls. I made that very clear throughout our videos already.
And I think that might have had something to do with your experience.
Maybe. But I walked in, I said hello, and as I walked past the case that Peggy was sitting in, the hair on the back of my neck, like, and I was wearing a full face shield, okay, like a bandana. It's right here. It goes over your entire bottom half of your face and over your neck. And the hair on the back of my neck was like sticking up. I could feel it. I started, like, I got a chill down my spine.
You could definitely sense something there. And there's a spirit box, like, going the entire time we were walking in there, just, like, flipping back and forth. So it's definitely, like, an eerie feeling too.
I damn near ran past that case.
I didn't get enough time to like talk to her and say what I wanted to. The one knock that I had, I mean, and it's really not a knock. I mean, honestly, I felt a little rushed because I'm the type that I wanted to read everything and look at everything for a while. But, like, you are kind of rushed through there a little bit with the social distancing stuff. But that being said, like, our tour was still like an hour and a half, hour and 40 minutes long. So I can't complain. I would just love, like, to be able to go there by myself and just kind of look around. So, Zak Bagans, if you ever see this and you want to bring us out, we've already seen the basement, you know what I mean? And we'll talk about that in a little bit. But yeah, we'd love to do that because I'm just I don't want to see everything. And it felt like, you were going in because you're trying to listen to the tour guide talk too and tell the story, but you're also looking at just a ton of different really cool items. I mean, it's a legit museum. I mean, there's no doubt. It's not. His
collection is.
It's cool. It's really cool.
Crazy cool.
So Peggy, like, yeah, she felt that feeling. There's definitely an eerie feeling in there, and I've seen a bunch of stories of people like actually her talking to them. I didn't have time. There was a couple behind me, and I felt just kind of like go through. So I said hello, I said goodbye, and then so I could have had something there maybe, but it was too fast for me to say anything about it. Then there was the head. though he has a legitimate, like, severed head from this. I think they're called whatever, a male witch. I think it's a warlock or something.
It's like a mummified head.
But it's a mummified head of this thing, and they warned us you can't stop when you're in there. You
Do
just
not
basically
stop walking in that room.
You look at it, but just keep going, keep it moving. The spirit does not like people in there, and let me tell you can 100% feel the spirit does not want you there.
I have chills like going.
We
down
both
my legs right now thinking
we
about
both
it.
looked at this thing for maybe 5 or 6 seconds total, and I could tell you exactly. I could probably draw that thing out and like tell you exactly what it looks like. This thing is ingrained in both of our heads, and trust me, you got the exact feeling of keep it moving. Like he didn't want anything to do with you there. Yeah, there was definitely a creepy feeling for that.
I have goosebumps, and
and it wasn't even how he looked. I mean, it was literally a feeling you got that like get the hell out of here.
And there really wasn't anything else in that room.
Yeah, and
there was an exhibit. There was something that you could have read while being in that room, but
you could. You definitely
did not
want
to stare at that thing for too long.
You didn't want to. It was. You could feel that it did not want you there.
No.
100%. The
Dybbuk box.
See, I know on the Dybbuk box, it was definitely like, it's creepy just because it was the Dybbuk box and everything's happened. You know what I mean? And it's definitely creepy. But
if you don't know what the Dybbuk box is,
look it up. I mean, it basically holds a demon.
Very scary.
I don't know if it's because I think they did the quarantine episodes like a month or something before we were there. Everything looked like the salt looked super fresh laid around it. The sage, I heard people online saying that the sage was like molding and all that, and I didn't catch that this time, but that could have been new sage.
It did look like it was wilting a little bit.
It was definitely not brand new. You know what I mean? It looked like something had...
Something was affecting it in some way.
But it looked like it was placed there, you know. It didn't look super old, like it's been there a long time. And I know they like took it out and did all that stuff. So I mean...
They like opened...
I'm sure they replaced stuff, but I didn't get a super eerie feeling in there. Not at the time.
I did when I was behind the Dybbuk box, and it felt like somebody was behind me. Granted, it's a very dark room. The entire museum is very dark.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if you go during the day or night.
I was pretty much standing in a corner, but it felt like there was something in the room. Not that it was necessarily like trying to do anything to anybody in the room, but like you could just tell that it was there. Like,
sorry, Marlon wants to be on.
She's indecisive.
She wants us to not do this. It's basically,
she wants 100% all
shower
of
her with attention. That's Marley, and we'll have some videos, Marley World, coming up. Then another one that was actually we both got a definite creepy feeling is the Demon House stairs and dirt, which we hadn't seen Demon House either since then. We've seen it now. We just actually watched it 2 days ago.
Yeah, if you don't know what it is, it's a documentary about a haunted house.
You should watch it. It's good.
Zak Bagans had purchased in Gary, Indiana, and he ended up having to have it demolished because it was so...
It was like possessing people.
It was possessing people and hurting them. But he ended up keeping part of the house.
Yeah, he ended up keeping the basement stairs and the dirt underneath the stairs where they thought was considered like the portal to hell. And you definitely feel something.
Getting goosebumps again.
There's something dark there. It was, there's just a feeling there you can't explain.
It's unexplainable. It's like the air is like, yeah, but it's almost like it's sucked out of you also. Yeah. At the same time. It's hard to breathe. Like you're breathing and you know you're breathing.
But it's like tougher. It's like the air is super thick.
Yeah.
So yeah, there was that. So I mean, definitely, those are definitely worth it.
I couldn't stay in there too long. I had to get out of there.
Oh, and last but not least, saving the best for last, is the basement. Now, the basement, you just, as soon as you walk to the stairs, you can like feel you're not supposed to go down there.
And you don't even see like the actual stairs to the basement. It actually
goes
away.
Like,
you have to walk around to see the entrance to the stairs.
Yeah, it's not just, right there. It's like I don't know, it's almost like in the middle of the room.
Yeah, and mind you, we saw this like pretty early on in the tour.
Yeah. And you just, when we first got in there, maybe like 5-10 minutes in, you had to walk by it, and we looked down and we both looked at each other like, and we had seen some videos, so like we knew the basement was something. So I don't know if it was us at that time being like, oh, the basement, or if it was like something. But definitely when they walked up and she like started talking about the basement, what happened, and she's like, with the VIP package, you get to go down there. Now they're only doing this during like the COVID times because it's like they're limiting the reservations. There's not a lot of people, it's like a certain amount of people each day. So they're allowing on the VIP tickets just for now people to go into the basement, which let me tell you, 100% worth it. Like that was the most.
It freaked me out.
It was. I think it's where it all comes from.
Yeah.
Personally, like it was definitely the heaviest point. When you're walking down into the basement, you feel like you're walking into something. Like you just feel it. It's heavy, just like this, kind of like the stairs, but it's more. I mean, in the basement, it's your body, like engulfs your body when you walk down there. It's pitch black. They used to do like satanic rituals down there.
That's what it is.
I think they conjured a demon or something. Now there's a lot of protection down there. Like he definitely has salt and he has holy water. He has a lot of stuff to protect the spirits from, like attaching onto you, stuff like that. So I mean, I wouldn't worry so much about that. But this basement, you walk in, it's pitch black. You got to like walk, and there's a spirit box going. And this thing, when we were there, the couple was with us, the father and daughter. We all heard it say leave. Then when we were like rounding the altar, it said get back. And then when we were like heading out again, it said get out. And we all heard it. None of us like said it to each other. We all said, did you hear that? Each time it happened, everyone was like, you hear that? And we all said basically the same thing. So we all heard the same thing.
So creepy.
Then heading out, I was in front going up the stairs, and Angela starts pushing me.
I don't know how to describe it other than it felt like something flew over this father-daughter duo.
It was
up
me.
The stairs.
It was me, Angela, the daughter, then the father.
And I could just feel it, like it was right behind me, and I don't even think I realized that I was pushing him, but I started pushing him up the stairs because I wanted him to move faster, and he was like trying to soak it all in. I was like, no, you need to get the hell up there because...
And I thought I felt something coming, but I thought it was her. I thought it was just her pushing me. And then the tour guide says, hey, it looked like someone was following you guys up those stairs.
And I just couldn't. I was like, what?
She went pale. Like,
oh, what? Man.
And
all this place is definitely worth it.
Yeah, I gotta say it's like an 11 out of 10. I mean, 15, whatever. It's 10 doesn't even give this thing. To me, like I said, some people didn't have any experiences, but even if you take it on the just historical part of it, and if you like antique stuff and just different cool things, man, it was like, I thought it was a 10 for that. I mean,
parts of history that you would think were destroyed actually aren't because they're in his museum.
He has them. The Kevorkian van was the bus or whatever was literally supposed to be demolished at a auto
there was
thing,
record that,
and they
just
never did it. And he has the legit title and everything. Like it's just for history. I mean, in general, it's worth it. So absolutely go. I mean,
we're gonna go back again.
By him. I mean, hey, if he wants to bring us in, we'd love to investigate with you. But yeah, I just as two people that are into the paranormal stuff, I mean, absolutely go. It was 100%.
Yeah.
So
100%. Like
I want to go back. I want to go too. Like I said, the only thing that I can knock on it was I didn't have enough time to look at all the stuff I wanted to look at. Because there was, they have article letters, all kinds of stuff that you could read, but you just didn't have the time to actually read what it was.
And just all of the intricate little details of.
And that being said, it was still an hour and 40 minutes long, so it's not. I mean, how many tours do you go on it are that long? You
could go there multiple times and see something different each time,
and maybe get different feelings, different stuff. It's I can't say enough about it. It was great. That made our entire trip. If we would have literally just went there and did that, I would have been fine. So that being said, look out for our next video. It'll be our day 2 of Randonauting.
Yes.
That'll be episode 4. So we will get that done. We're probably going to go do that tomorrow.
I'm going to take a different outlook on that.
We're going to do something different on that. We're going to actually just bring the notebook. We're not going to say anything about it, and we're going to write it down for you guys and then just see what happens. And we'll do some different words. But that'll be coming up in a couple days. That being said, I hope you enjoyed our video here. And until next time, we will see you later.
Thanks for stopping by, guys. Bye, guys.